President Trump is positioning himself as the affordability president, pushing to lower costs for American citizens after inheriting periods of high inflation from the Biden administration. Here's the president from Florida last night.
From an economic standpoint, our prices are coming down very substantially on groceries and things. They're already at a much lower level than they were with the last administration. You're going to see some of the items that were a little bit higher. They were lower than the last administration, but a little bit higher. We're going to have some little price reductions, and in some cases, some pretty good ones. They use the affordability word. The affordability is much, much better with this.
The White House announcing it will roll back tariffs on grocery staples, including beef, coffee, bananas, and other food items. On Sunday, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent told me how the process is happening. Watch.
This just didn't spring up. We've been working on it since day one. We've been working on trade deals with Central and South American countries for 6, 7, 8 months. Right. And just this past week, we signed the trade deals. So not only will the tariffs come off some of the things you just listed, like coffee, like cocoa, many other bananas, many other items. That's a result of the trade deals going through, and then we will see this go down. And we're also seeing the import barriers for the other countries come through. So this is a complete trade policy, and now we are going to see it affect the prices.
The secretary also explaining how the administration is offsetting the affordability worries and when Americans can expect relief from these high prices.
We inherited this terrible inflation. We are flattening it out. I believe we're going to push it down. Energy prices are down. Interest rates are down. But the real thing that is going to happen that is going to give Americans real purchasing power increases, it's going to be through growth. So I would expect in the first 2 quarters, we are going to see the inflation curve bend down and the real income curve substantially accelerate. And when those 2 lines cross, Americans are going to feel it. But Maria, I will tell you what we're not going to do. What we're not going to do is tell the American people that they don't know how they're feeling, which is what the Biden administration did.
When do you think that the public is going to really feel an impact from your moves to rein in the cost of living? How long will that take?
I think we are going to see a substantial acceleration in the economy in the first, second quarter, and I think we are also we're already seeing on many prices. I think 2026, thanks to President Trump's signature plans, is going to be a great year for working Americans, for the markets. I call it parallel prosperity. Main Street and Wall Street can both do great, but I think Main Street's going to have a great year in 2026.
Now, that was a great optimistic view from the Secretary, Liz. This relief cannot come soon enough. We've got a new poll this morning that shows 64% of Americans with a 6-figure salary say they're, quote, in survival mode, and that their checks only cover costs, not comfort. Many living paycheck to paycheck. Your thoughts?
Well, if you live in New York City, that's certainly the case, Maria, because we know that rents are unbelievably high and the cost of everything else is exaggerated by high taxes and high regulations. I think Secretary Bessent is talking about a very good program of growth. And by the way, growth has been in the 4% range just before the shutdown and the prior 2 quarters. So this isn't a fantasy. I think that's one of the reasons the Democrats were happy to shut down the government, because they don't want to see success in the Trump White House. Meanwhile, you've got elections recently which signal that voters are very concerned about high prices. And I think the president is doing some things, including rolling back these tariffs, which are extremely effective. When banana prices and coffee prices come down, people are going to see that. They're not stupid. They know what they're paying at the grocery store. They want to see relief, and I think he's going to deliver that in the short term.
Well, it's a great point all around, but, we also have to deal with China and how China tries to bully the U.S. Ryan, I was very struck by Secretary Bessent's answer to me when I raised that story from the Wall Street Journal this week. Remember, the Journal last week reported that the CCP right now is holding back holding back rare earth minerals to any company that is tied to the military. In other words, if you're doing business with the Pentagon, if you're trying to use these rare earth minerals for military reasons, well, you're not going to get the flow of rare earths. Now, that's what the Journal reported, but the secretary was adamant that it wasn't true. Watch this. Is China holding back rare earth magnets from companies tied to the U.S. military right now?
Yeah, Maria, I think that Wall Street Journal reporting is not very accurate. We haven't even finished the agreement, which we hope to have done by Thanksgiving. And I am confident that post our meeting in Korea between the two leaders, President Trump, President Xi, that China will honor their agreement. And if they don't, we have lots of levers.
Well, you told me after the meeting that you would likely have something signed the following week. We spoke right after that meeting in October. Are you saying that you do not expect the Chinese Communist Party to hold back rare earth minerals from military-related companies in America?
I am saying the agreement is that the magnets will flow freely as they did before April 4th.
Are you expecting them to resume the purchases of soybeans, or are they going to double-cross us on that as well?
Maria, we have lots of levers, and again, they've already started the purchases of soybeans. They've agreed for this buying season to buy 12 million tons, 25 million tons for the next 3 years after that, so a total of 87 million.
And the secretary went on to explain what is happening. I'll point out that he did say that the Chinese are not double-crossing us, so we'll be watching this closely. Meanwhile, the new tariff exemptions covering items like beef, coffee, tomatoes, and bananas taking effect immediately, as many of these staples see double-digit price increases over the past year. I spoke with the CEO of Omaha Steaks, Nate Rempe, on Friday on this program. He warned that even with policy moves like this, the cost of beef will likely keep on climbing. Watch this.
So we are headed for what I'm calling, Maria, the $10 a pound reality. By third quarter of 26, families are going to see $10 a pound ground beef in the grocery store. So we're in for a bit of a haul here. I don't believe we'll see price come down in any meaningful way until sometime in 2027.
Quite the prediction. All of this part of why the president is ordering the Justice Department to investigate the meatpacking industry as beef processors increasingly rely on foreign cattle to meet demand. The White House also rolling out new trade framework deals across Latin America, cutting tariffs on additional food products as part of this broader effort to rein in prices for American families.